I got, just say you got the weight, you got a flat tyre. I got 2 hour responses, and about 2 hours delivery, so yeah.
So today we're here at Bullarto, and it's a great sense of deja vu I'm feeling today, because I've done this twice now. In the mid-1990s, the railway was extended from Musk to Bullarto. It opened to Musk in about 1991, and about 1995-96 it extended up to Bullarto. And it was one of those years when you work on the Bullarto section, we conjure up a La Nina, which means it just starts raining. In that year it started raining on the 1st of July, and it kept raining every day until the 1st of December, and then someone turned the tap off. And it was a bit like that over the last year, with the works in the Bullarto section being absolutely hamstrung by the weather, which is why it's taken as long as it has to get the railway restored to Bullarto. But back then, in the mid-1990s, here we were working on this track up here in the rain, in the snow, in goodness knows all sorts of weather. And I can remember working with John Madigan up here through the week, and a couple of contract gangers, Gary and Charlie. Charlie's still around, he lives at Cockatoo. Gary unfortunately met his end on a motorbike at Blampede in the late 1990s. But we opened it once, then the Musk Vale bushfire in 2009 wiped out the Musk section and prevented trains and restoration trolleys getting up here. So naturally the Bullarto section fell into disrepair. It's taken a long time and a lot of hard work and some very, very useful track machinery to put this track back together. Now, I'm not going to steal Stuart's thunder except to say that this is the culmination of a very, very big project over a long period of time with a lot of very, very dedicated volunteers. And I think it's absolutely magnificent to see a train standing here again in the Bullarto station.
Today's been a journey. That journey started 17 years ago on this date, when we first ran the first official train to Bullarto after a gap of 18 years. But that journey stopped abruptly on the 23rd of February 2009, a couple of weeks after Black Saturday, and the devastation that did bring to Victoria. But that devastation hit us, and that bushfire burnt through a mile of track in the forest between Daylesford and Musk, and that changed the ballpark for everything that we did. No longer could we take the trains to Bullarto, let alone Musk. And fortunately the state government, in conjunction with the Bendigo Bank, were generous enough and gave us that support, and we returned trains once again to Musk in August 2010. But Musk was only halfway. There was still this other 5 kilometres of track that was very tired, as it turned out. So once again, we went seeking that support, and this time round, the federal government, through Catherine King, came to our aid, and this is a big name of the grant that we got, but it's Your Community Heritage Program, Recovering from Natural Disasters, and that grant was to the tune of $128,000. At the same time, we lobbied the Shire and all of the councillors, most of whom are here today, and they were very generous with Shire funds, and contributed $50,000 towards that project. And obviously they must be proud to see that what has come from that $50,000. And then the railway ourselves threw in about $50,000 of our own cash funds, plus $147,000 worth of material and in-kind labour. The gentleman that's with us today paid us a visit and said he had some track machinery that he was keen to get rid of, and really turned the whole project around. From what was planned would have probably taken 2 or 3 years to actually do the work, ended up being 15 months, basically because John Holland Rail were extremely generous and donated probably a couple of $1 million worth of machinery, which was surplus to their needs. The new buildings that you see behind me today is stage 1 of the Bullarto reconstruction project. Those buildings were funded from the state government's Regional Growth Fund, Putting Locals First program, and that was to the value of $130,800. The construction works were undertaken by GJ and SL Depler Builders, who I thought were going to join us today. They're here. Good to see them. And as probably everyone has noticed, the workmanship and the quality of that workmanship is fantastic. Anyway, stage 1, we're going to be lobbying our local members and the Shire, of course, to do stage 2, and I think we're going to have to move. But before I just close, a number of people we've got to thank: the Commonwealth Government, the State Government, the Shire of Hepburn, the Department of Transport, John Holland Rail, the Bendigo Bank, Howell Rail, GJ and SL Depler Builders, the Radio Springs Hotel, the Victorian Goldfields Railway, Jubilee Sawmills, Eco-Friendly Hardwoods, the Puffing Billy Railway, Rob Broad, John Grant, Daylesford Engineering, Boral at Dunstown, and Safety Action. All of those organisations and individuals need to be sincerely thanked for their support that they've given us for this project. But most thanks has to go to the volunteers that put in that 4,576 hours of their time. Thank you one and all.
What about we cut that ribbon and actually declare this thing officially open? What about that? Where's the thing? There we go. Look at that.